And blessed to be a part of your day. We are back rolling here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian. I believe that's Barb from Sunny Slope and an unidentified young man with her. We've got Wes from American Reserve Munitions here. Art is here, and we're just getting started at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. We'll have our friend Kaylee joining us from the RNC. We'll take your phone calls as we proudly support the Second Amendment. If you want to stop by and shoot, that's right. You can stop by and shoot here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Gala Drive, just check us out off Overland. Once again, we are proudly supporting the Second Amendment here this morning. A lot going on today at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. I'd like to start the day with some good news and some really great news from our friends at the Caldwell Police Department. Oh, you know where I'm going with this. The Caldwell Police Department has accepted the lip sync challenge from the Nampa Police Department, Twin Falls Police Department, and everybody else. They have come up with a lip sync video, and that is to a Big and Rich song called "Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy," and it looks pretty good. So we've got Nampa with "The Danger Zone." We've got Meridian with a country song, and I'm apologizing to our friends on the Meridian PD. I haven't really, it's a something country song. I apologize to not really knowing that, but they do a great job with it. Twin Falls doing something to Pitbull. And where is the Boise Police Department? I'm sure Boise is working on something. And speaking of working on something, our police, our law enforcement have been very busy. On the other end, a major bust reported yesterday at KIDO Talk Radio. We will take a look at that coming up. But first, big news out of Washington, D.C.
The president's press secretary confirms he's ordered his national security advisor to invite the Russian president for a visit to the White House in the fall. This would be Putin's first appearance at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue since 2005. President Trump insisting, despite the fallout from last week's Helsinki summit, he thinks he can still be tough on Russia.
Getting along with President Putin, getting along with Russia is a positive, not a negative. If that doesn't work out, I'll be the worst enemy he's ever had.
Some Democrats have lost all faith in the president's diplomatic prowess. A statement from Senator Schumer reads, quote, "Until we know what happened at that 2-hour meeting in Helsinki, the president should have no more one-on-one interactions with Putin."
And there we have it, the president and Putin. By the way, phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. There was, like I said, a major story yesterday concerning busting the Aryan nations. And whether it's the Aryan nations, whether it's anybody else, I will tell you this, folks, it is a challenge keeping the Treasure Valley safe. So on one hand, we have law enforcement doing an excellent job of community policing. On the other hand, we have law enforcement doing an excellent job of keeping us safe. Think about this. Think about how the headlines have changed in the past few years. We'll have more on that coming up. Why don't we grab our friend Wes from American Reserve Munitions. Wes, come on over here and let's talk a little bit about what people can do here this morning at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian. Do want to thank our friends at Independence for coming in early. We appreciate that. We've got a crowd here already. And Wes, you're supplying the ammunition this morning.
Sure are. Proudly made in Horseshoe Bend right here, Highway 55.
Well, we're not on Highway 55 right now, but yes.
We start with this.
Here we are in Meridian, Idaho. So what can people stop by and fire? They've got a great number of weapons here at Independence. What ammunition have you brought today here, brother?
Oh, I've brought some 9. I've brought some 223, and some 40, some 45, whatever you might have in those handguns. Bring yours down or get one here. Try one out. Glad to have you here at the range.
Well, we appreciate you. Describe this facility for us, would you?
This is a wonderful facility. First thing out, it's very safe. You get your own lane. It's very clean. You have great air filtration, lots of air recovery. You don't get any of that. Some of us really like that gunpowder smell,
right?
But you don't really get that here. It's a wonderful facility.
Indeed. Of course, the last time it was fun hearing people firing on the radio during morning drive. That hasn't happened in many years. Very few people do these type of shows. When we talk about the Second Amendment, you and your friends here at Independence, you're in the Second Amendment business. What's it like? Because, we're reporting everybody wants to grab the guns.
We have a vibrant economy with the Second Amendment businesses here in Idaho. We have come to know, when we first got into it, we really didn't realize there was that many companies in Idaho based right here in the Gem State in the Second Amendment industry. It's been great to get to know those guys, quite a few here in the Valley. When we go down to SHOT Show down in Vegas, that's the big trade show every year. And there was over 50 companies from Idaho showing their stuff off in Las Vegas. I really had no idea that we had that many people right here around us supporting the Second Amendment industry.
Indeed. So when we take a look at the folks coming in today, we've got Barb here. Art was here already at 5 in the morning, ready to go. What does that say about how much people love their firearms and their ability to protect themselves?
Idahoans and Americans, it's been our history, right?
Right.
That's how we got our freedom. And, the love for that. And there is something just inborn addictive about shooting. It's fun. I often joke that when somebody comes in and tries some of our ammunition, it's kind of like get them a new drug. It kind of gets them hooked.
Right. In a good way.
In a great way.
In a great way. Anything else you'd like to share with us this morning, Wes?
Oh, we're just glad to be here. Come on down, join us. First-time shooters are welcome. Long-time shooters are welcome. Come on down and shoot with us this morning.
What I love about Independence is that it's so clean, it's so new, and it's climate controlled. Now, maybe some people like going out into the dirt, into the wind, and then cleaning their gear for hours afterwards. Obviously, you want your gear cleaned, but there's a big difference between firing inside and outside.
Oh, yes, especially this time of year. If it's in the afternoon, if you need that break from work, you can drop in. It's nice and cool.
Yeah, not only that, but, that 100-yard range. What were you firing here the last time on that?
We brought up our 338 Lapua, made by, it's a Kavari model, made by DRD, made in Georgia. And I don't have it today. It's actually on a photo shoot right now. Sure. But what a wonderful gun. We were out with our long-range shooter, Stephen Dameron, great guy. I had never shot long range before, but, plinking a torso-shaped target at 1,800 yards, that's just a little bit over a mile. Right. And having the confidence to hit it every time, that was amazing.
Barb, you going to shoot? I was going to go shoot. All right, Barb from Sunny Slope here. Jump in here for a second with Wes on KIDO Talk Radio. We've got the crowd here already. Now, what about this, Wes? We've got Art here. He's getting ready to have the grand jury, which is his passion. Art from Star, Idaho. And then we've got Barb from Sunny Slope. You're here, and you're already packing here this morning.
I am. I also brought you my picture of for girls with guns. It won't. I'm not young and sexy like the ones on your site, but
Well, by the way, you've got some great prizes here from Independence. I need a digital copy of this for you to enter, though.
Oh, I put it on already.
All right, good. So we will Barb from Sunny Slope entering girls with guns. So what are you going to shoot here this morning?
I'm just going to shoot a 9mm.
Yeah.
I have a Smith & Wesson Shield.
Right. And you're fired up and ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
So what would go good with that, Wes?
Today I have a new flat point match winner projectile. It's actually made by RMR shooting out of Lewiston, and it is the best shooting 9mm projectile we've ever had in our plant.
Wow.
Well, I'll have to take a look at this.
Made in Horseshoe Bend.
Made in Horseshoe Bend.
You should have a noticeable drop in the size of your groupings just by changing your ammunition.
Well, that's encouraging.
See, that's right.
I am very encouraged.
And not only that, but for self-defense.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Barb, anything else? You're going to come back and give us an update on how you've shot and everything else?
I'll be happy to.
All right. Well, thank you, Barb. You're our first up for the day. Has Art told you about the grand jury?
He has, and it's actually very interesting to me. I would be very interested in looking into this. I think it's a wonderful idea.
All right. Well, Art from Star.
Art from Star. Thank you, Art from Star.
All right. Wes, if people want more information, we'll talk to you throughout the day. What can they do?
You can always shoot me an email at...
I like how you said that, shoot me an email.
Well, you have to use the right lingo, right?
Sure. Right verb, yep.
Yeah, shoot me an email, wes@armunitions.com, or look at our website at americanreservemunitions.com, and lots of information there. You can buy stuff online if you'd like to.
And a big sign in Horseshoe Bend, by the way. Can't miss it.
Well, yeah, and we're working on that. We're going to be improving that a little bit, too.
All right, Art. Well, thank you. Art, Wes. Thank you, Wes.
You're very welcome. Glad to be here.
A little early for me this morning. Art's on my mind. When you come into Independence, the first thing you see is Art. He is burned into your psyche.
Art is a great guy.
All right, phone number's here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So the president inviting Putin to the White House. What do you think of that one? We'll get your thoughts. And what about being here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho? By the way, girls with guns, we need your submissions. Barb from Sunny Slope, she's already got hers ready to go. What about you? You can win some great prizes here, and we'll talk to our friends from Independence Indoor Shooting coming up as well. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Austin is in for Ray Amaya. Give him something to do. Give him a phone call so we can get rolling here. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. All right, here we are at Independence Indoor Shooting. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We are rolling along. Like I said, we are waiting for most of you to stop by here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. You'll be hearing some shooting going on in the background thanks to Independence. They're here early. Do want to remind you, Girls with Guns, you can come by here, register for Girls with Guns, or go to KIDOTalkRadio.com and join us as we move along. Art, do you want to talk to us here for a minute? We've got a big crowd here already, but we certainly would love to see you at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Art, what's going on?
Well, we're still alive. We haven't blown the place up with nuclear weapons as a result of the interface between President Trump and Putin.
Well, that's reassuring, but are you here to shoot today, or are you here to meet all the listeners?
I meet all the listeners and generally talk to people, and I'm looking to try to explain to the listening audience about something called the American Grand Jury.
Well, before we get to that, is there anybody in particular that you want to meet? You've gone to a lot of our events. Who is there somebody in particular that you want to meet? Did you shoot yet, Barb?
Not yet. I will be shooting. I've just filled out the
okay.
paperwork.
Go ahead, Art.
Tea Party Bob, maybe. Liberty Linda. The people that believe in the Constitution and Jesus Christ.
Right.
Okay. This country and the world is in a very grave crisis situation. The American Grand Jury goes back even before the foundation of the Constitution. It goes back even before the Declaration of Independence. It goes back even before the formation of the United States Marine Corps. And there are documents to prove that. Now, a quick thumbnail is that you know that you have a county grand jury that has 12 jury members. You have a state grand jury that has 12. You have a federal grand jury and a federal special grand jury, and then you've got the American grand jury. The last time the American grand jury did anything of significance was more than 60 years ago, when there's two individuals, Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, if you look through history, that were processed by the American grand jury because they had given the hydrogen bomb secrets to the Soviet Union, and they were executed for that act. The American grand jury processes only one section of the Constitution, and that's acts of treason. Congress is prohibited from writing any ex post facto law or any bill of attainder. They're not allowed to do it, and there's deep reasons for that. And so what does the really American grand jury do in a thumbnail? If you look into your Constitution, for those who have a Constitution manual, you go to Article 4, Section 4.
Now, this is all about tune-out, Art, so you've got to – this isn't the art soliloquy, so get to the point, please.
Point is this. There is a statement in your Constitution that says that the United States shall guarantee to each state in this union a Republican form of government, semicolon. There's more to the sentence. The question is, who provides the guarantee, and who is it that protects the federal government? Turns out it's the American grand jury. So we wrap our hands around the Declaration of Independence, the Paris Peace Treaties, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights.
So what are you trying to do? What are you urging?
We're standing up an American grand jury due to the critical nature of what this country is in at this point. And unlike most grand juries, we have 23 members.
All right, Art, hold that thought for a minute. Kevin Miller in the morning here. By the way, before you go into work, stop by and see us at Independence Indoor Shooting right off Overland in Meridian, Idaho. We would love to see you here. Stop by like Barb from Sunny Slope Fire. Now is the time, because as more people get up and get here, it'll get crowded. Art, you remember that from the last time. It got crowded at the end. Art's joining us from Star now. Art, where have you moved here from, brother?
Well, I've lived in many different states, more than 7 states. I'm an individual who's got a vast amount of knowledge. I'm 74 years old.
Right. Now, I didn't need your bio, with all due respect.
I came from Kingman, Arizona, Mojave County.
All right, Kingman, Arizona.
Right.
And in your short time here in Idaho, have you seen it change with so many people coming in? You were talking about the prices of homes in Star, Idaho.
Right.
Now, Star, Idaho, the smallest city in Ada County, very quaint. It used to be a joke. You had the Merc and the Maverick, and that's about it in Star. But it is growing, and you were telling me about home prices in Star.
Yes. And now this might have changed, but I got this off a Zillow website or something that talks about real estate.
Sure.
You can't seem to find a new house, for less than $300,000 to $400,000. They're just literally going vertical. What I've always been interested in, now I know the reason why I moved up here, but how is it that all these people around the United States, when you got more than 5,000 counties in 50 states, everybody is coming to this little place?
Right.
My next door neighbor came from Alaska. Another individual, 2 houses down, he came from Miami, Florida. How did you find out about this Star, Idaho, and what is it that's pulling you? And when I press the point, they don't know.
What's the secret of Star? It used to be like Nampa, Caldwell, and Meridian back in the day. It was affordable housing.
I thought maybe because everything is like Comet Way and you name it after stars and astronomy and stuff, maybe it was a good place to have telescopes to look at stars. I don't know.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, we do have a serious infrastructure problem here for power, water, sewer, gas. I mean, you're exploding faster than I've ever seen anything. The houses are just flying up. In my subdivision, right across the street, there's 12 new housing starts, a dozen already.
Right.
6 to 7 cement trucks a day.
And here's the deal. If the contractors could get more laborers, there would be even more homes going
Super critical shortage of laborers. Everything with skills for wiring houses, to be a hammer slinger, to be a mud pourer, all that, whatever you want to call them, right?
Right.
And they are running at a horrifically fast rate to build these houses. But the answer is, how'd you find out about this place? What's driving you? Okay.
It was probably Cindy from Caldwell.
Oh, is that her, Cindy?
That's Cindy. So you can go meet Cindy. Art will pod him down.
Okay.
Art, will get back to you and the grand jury coming up. Phone, and don't make sure you go fire, okay, while you're here. Don't just hang out with me, but we've got Wes, we've got Ryan, we've got our friends from Independence. It is a Kevin Miller holiday here today at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. We've got Chandler and George with us. We've got our great friend Austin in for Ray and Maya. The gang's all here. It's like Festivus in the summer. Okay, let's get back to you. A big story yesterday, and let's take a listen from our news partners, Channel 7. And when you hear Channel 7 on the radio, you're listening to 107.5 FM and 580 AM. But let's take a look and a listen at some big news, some big stories that broke yesterday concerning the Aryan Knights and some criminal charges against them.
Handed down on July 10th were officially announced today in a joint news conference featuring several Treasure Valley law enforcement agencies. Of those arrested, 11 are facing drug charges with 13 total counts of distribution of methamphetamine and 3 counts of conspiracy to distribute meth. 2 people were also indicted for unlawful possession of a firearm. Boise Police Chief Bill Bones says that the action from law enforcement across the valley sends an important message to gangs and criminals.
If you are a violent criminal, if you are somebody that is looking to establish a gang in this city, if you are somebody that is looking to do harm upon others, law enforcement across this valley will come together to put you back into the jail you belong, to put you into prison.
U.S. Attorney Bart Davis says that the indictments dealt a major blow to the Aryan Knights and severely violent criminals. Davis explains that operations like this simply help keep Idaho communities safer.
Every available tool to take down the violent gangs and drug traffickers that damage our communities is used to make and keep them safe.
Federal drug trafficking charges are generally punishable up to 20 years in prison and with a fine up to $1 million. The case now heads to the courtroom. The charges will be prosecuted by the Special Assistant U.S. Attorney hired by the Treasure Valley Partnership, the Canyon County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, and the state of Idaho to address gang crimes. And for more information on this full story, you can head to our website right now, ktvb.com.
Thank you, Joe Parrish. We appreciate you. So coming up next, safety, security, infrastructure in the Treasure Valley. What a way to wake up. By the way, start your weekend the right way. Join us at Independence Indoor Shooting. We've got Barb from Sunny Slope. We've got Good News Cindy from Caldwell, Art from Star. The gang is all here. We're going to pack some heat this morning. Independence Indoor Shooting. We've got Wes from American Reserve Munitions. By the gang's all here. It's a party, a Second Amendment party, number one. Number two, Cindy, don't distract. Number two, don't forget Girls with Guns. We love your submissions. Go to KIDOTalkRadio.com to submit your Girls with Guns today. Kevin Miller from Independence Indoor Shooting on KIDO Talk Radio. All right, you're hearing Barb from Sunny Slope. Fire away. Would you like to join her? That's right. We're at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Nothing like the sound of freedom and firepower in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. You come by, you sign up. Art, why don't you head down there and sign up as well? Go down there and sign up, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about the grand jury. By the way, Cindy's here, Barb's here, Art's here, Wes is here. You need to get here now if you want to shoot for free at Independence Indoor Shooting. By the way, don't forget Girls with Guns. You can win a free firearm. You can win a free gun safe. Lots of cool prizes. A year's membership to Independence. You can come in anytime and sign up, or sign up online at KIDOTalkRadio.com. We're taking your phone calls here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. It was such a blessing yesterday to have our great friend Russ Fulcher on the program. And Russ, a lifelong Idahoan, going back so many years. And you have to appreciate this great state. And we have to protect it. We have to take a look at where we are and how we're perceived. And whether it's some of the tragedies that have happened here in the past, whether it's the police doing an incredible job. By the way, props to Caldwell PD for their lip-sync challenge, Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. We're going to, again, give those props. We're waiting for the Boise PD to do theirs. Meridian has done one. Nampa has done them. Twin has done them. ISP has done one. It's a great movement on community policing. Maybe some people will be critical of it. In a past life, I might have been, but really, again, big ups to Caldwell PD for their lip sync of Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Props to them. Now, we were telling you that story from Channel 7, sharing that with you, where you have the group of the Aryan nations being busted. You still have some people that are not as educated about our great state of Idaho that say that we're racist, we're this, we're that. And look, there is not a place in America that doesn't have challenges, right? There isn't a place in America where we could do better, or the world for that matter. Unfortunately, there's a story out of northern Idaho. Our great friends, our news partners at Channel 7 picked up on this. They picked it up from their affiliate up north. But you've got a man arrested in Idaho for yelling racial slurs at teens at northern Idaho. What's your name, sir? Carl. Carl's here. Good. Jump back there and knock it out. We wanted to share that with you. And, George, thank you for helping me with the audio. It's tough being technically challenged. But when we're looking at our great state and being under siege, you're going to have people saying, see, that's these folks in Idaho. This does not represent the unconditional love, the compassion, the gentilioness that we have here in the Gem State.
Where court documents say it all happened, and police say that when the suspect was questioned why he used racial slurs, he said it was because, quote, he knew it would get under their skin.
Go on! Hey, are you idiots? Hey, morons. No.
Cell phone video taken last week by the victim shows the tail end of the fracas. The man, named Jose Ceniceros, was the leader of a church youth group. They went to McDonald's to get some ice cream after a church event, but at some point, an argument broke out.
I'll you up in a heartbeat, you little
That guy has been identified as Richard Sovensky. Court documents say his wife expressed concern because she claimed some of the kids were running around the restaurant and causing a disturbance. She worried one of the kids would run into her since she had recently underwent shoulder surgery. That sparked an argument, and Seniceros says Sovensky punched him.
Get the out of Idaho! Get
That disagreement turned racist, police say. We've bleeped out the word, but the video appears to show Sovensky calling Seniceros and the teens a racial slur. You can hear him shouting a homophobic slur, too. This guy in the American
thanks for throwing that one in there, Timmy.
Flag shorts is later seen grabbing his crotch and gesturing towards the girls. Police say Sovensky took off before they showed up. But he'd eventually come to the police department this week for questioning, though. There, police say he admitted to shoving Seniceros and owned up to using racial slurs in order to, quote, get the upper hand in the argument. With that, police placed Sovensky in handcuffs and charged him with malicious harassment. That's the Idaho law that makes it illegal to intimidate someone based on their race or nationality.
There we have it from Channel 7 and Krem News. Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. When you hear the shooting in the background, by the way, that is live fire going on at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Carl just swung in. He's going to shoot for free, thanks to Independence Indoor Shooting and our friends at American Reserve Munitions. Girls with Guns, this is our last week. We need we don't need your submissions. We'd love to have tons of people, and you can be a part of the process. KIDOtalkradio.com. Basically how it works is you send in your girl with her gun, you vote. The person that gets the most votes gets some great prizes. We're talking about a gun safe. We're talking about a firearm. We're talking about a year subscription to a membership to Independence Indoor Shooting, a great facility. And, this is one of the great things that we get to do at KIDO Talk Radio, the Kevin Miller Morning Show. We get to go out and we get to do these things. So the more the merrier, and we'd love to have as many people as possible to do this again and again and again. Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. But if you can't make it to Independence Indoor Shooting, I'd love to get your comments on what you just heard. The man arrested for yelling racial slurs at the teens at the North Idaho McDonald's. Is that breaking the law? Obviously, physical violence, being a tough guy, going out to the parking lot, it never ends well, even if you're fortunate to come out of the scrape. It really never ends well. And we have this with the high heat and the roads and the crazies. We have this tinderbox effect right now, and it's just something like, now this guy's got to go to court. Was it really worth it? And the other guy grabbing his whatever with the American flag shorts, sir, don't disrespect the American flag. Let's go to Tom Munz, TomMunz.com, Munz Tom Twitter, Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio from Independence Indoor Shooting. Okay, Cindy's here, by the way, already, dictating the remote broadcast. Good morning, Tom.
Morning. Wow. I'm, I try to pay attention to the law and all that, and as much as I can, and I didn't realize that was actually a law. So just to clarify what you said, you're saying that our freedom of speech, the legislature has determined is unlawful, so that they're going to incarcerate you. So was the arrest because he punched, or was it because he made racial slurs?
He made racial slurs.
Well, then that's the most ridiculous law I've ever heard. Here's the thing. There's something called the doctrine of lesser magistrates. For people that are not really aware of what that is, it basically gives a historical and biblical significance of the superior that takes control of the inferior. The classic example of that would be when a Supreme Court deems from on high that gay marriage should be legalized in every state. The states have the authority to be able to look at what the Supreme Court's ruling was and decide whether they're going to nullify it or not.
So wait a minute. Essentially, you can't call anybody a name in Idaho.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly where I'm going with this. The legislature has overstepped its bounds. If we had an informed electorate that actually went to court and they were a jury of his peers like the Constitution calls for, this person would be let go and the legislature would not be able to enforce a ridiculous, abusive, totalitarian law like that. Look, the problem is that our founders believed that not everything was judiciable. Now, I will admit they believed in the fact that the Constitution was written for a moral and religious people. But here's the thing: they should be guilty in the court of public opinion, not be adjudicated for opening their mouth, expressing their opinion. Here's the thing with this: is that I've told you before on the radio, I'm racist. But what's wrong with being racist? Now, am I going to get arrested because I admitted that I'm racist? Nobody's even asking what I'm racist about or how racism is defined. So what we've also done is we've given the liberals control of our language, and we've given the government the control of the liberal language to be able to be used to violate our most basic fundamental rights. I would encourage anybody to be able to stand and oppose and interpose against anybody that is arrested for a law like this. Now, this has significant backlash against law enforcement. Law enforcement today is taught if there's a law that's passed by the legislature, it's a law, and by golly, I've got to enforce the law. The interesting thing is most cops that I've talked to admitted that they believe that a lot of these laws are ridiculous. But here's the thing: you've got the citizens that are so ignorant that that they yell at the cops and say, well, your cops are all screwed up and you're this and that and the other, when the problem wasn't the officers at all. It was the legislature. So by law enforcement is supposed to be able to enforce the laws created by the legislature. So they are actually doing their job. The citizens that are actually not engaged in their civic duty are the ones that are losing their liberty because they're not making sure that the laws that are passed by the legislature are nullified or interposed when they're supposed to be, or overthrown out of the courts. Now, when you get involved in court, since we might as well go through each branch of government, the judge, the prosecuting attorney, all of the bar, they're all members of the bar, okay? So
this is a lot of conversation for something that happened in a McDonald's in North Idaho.
But this is how serious it is. It affects and undermines every branch of government and every founding principle that we have. So when we look at these issues and we think, oh, they're kind of minor because it was just some guy that went off half-cocked. No. This has grave consequences to your liberty, and it causes contention between law enforcement, citizens, the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. And what it does is it allows every one of them to become corrupted.
Well, what should happen to this guy?
He should be, as long as he didn't raise his hand or hit anybody, which is a punishable offense. There was really no crime committed, and he should have been let go. He can be condemned and ridiculed by the community, however the community wants to do it, utilizing their free speech back. But that's as far as that law can go. And I will tell you, if I'm going to exercise my freedom of speech, I don't care if they come and arrest me, because when I get out, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. Because it's my right that is protect my God-given right.
That'd be a lot of legal bills, Tom.
Well, it's going to be a lot of legal bills, but if you don't stand for something, you'll stand for anything.
Tom, we got to run. Thank you.
You got to righteously stand.
Thank you, Tom. KIDO Talk Radio, Austin. When I say thank you, that's time to go. Kevin Miller in the morning here. We're at Independence Indoor Shooting. Live firing this morning. Girls with guns. We need your girls with the guns. Plus, you can take part in the shooting gallery here outside and have a good time like our friend Cindy. Gals, now is the time to get here. As the morning moves on, it gets busier and busier. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance to shoot for free. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. All right, we are live at Independence Indoor Shooting. Thank you, Sherry, for stopping by. She didn't want to talk on the air, was excited about the girls with guns, got a little giggly when she met Cindy from Caldwell, and we're going to take your calls in a minute. We're here all morning long. I'm trying to get Cindy to go back to the range, but she's playing with the coin-operated shooting gallery here at Independence Indoor Shooting. So Phone numbers here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Don't forget to register your girl with her gun. Let's go to Max from Garden City on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max. Okay. Jim in Nampa from Nampa on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Jim.
Hey, this is something I noticed. You know that when that law was passed back in the day to help people who were dealing with suicidal conversations with kids, food harassment, stuff like that.
Right.
So I believe what's going on is that law that this guy's being called out for up in northern Idaho is being used from the one that was used for harassment and cause of those types of situations online. And I knew it'd be used for something like this eventually. And it's funny that they changed it into a harassment of racial connections when originally that law was built around the idea of protecting people from suicidal attempts and bullying online, which for all intents and purposes was kind of dumb to begin with, but there are some online repercussions to talking like that people don't get. So I'm not saying that it's the worst thing that's ever happened in Idaho, but it is definitely something that we let slide during Obama's presidency that we should have been paying better attention to.
Well, the big lesson here is, and what do? The kids misbehave all the time now. And if you go up to somebody and you say, hey, your kid's bothering us, then all of a sudden you're the bad person. In the old days, you would go to somebody, and I see this in church all the time, get that kid out of here. Now, the kid has more rights. So the guy gets frustrated. His wife's upset. Maybe the cholesterol was kicking in too much at the McDonald's. He starts flipping out, and I don't know about you, Jim, but once you go zero to freak, it's over.
No, I definitely understand why this has been taken out of context with this law. I don't think it should have been a law to begin with.
Right.
But as it is a law, I think the only thing that it should be reaching out to is minimizing harm online versus being spread out to multiple different connections where it's only risking people's lives with threatening words, not, hey, we're just saying mean things to each other or saying something dumb. Because everyone says stupid things. Everyone does dumb things. And to turn a law that was built around protecting kids, which, as I said before, shouldn't have been a law to begin with, that's a problem.
Fair enough, Jim.
And
Thank you for the call.
Stance.
All right. Thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Kevin Miller in the morning here. The firepower you hear is live fire on the range from Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian. We urge you to stop by. That's a good question. Barb from Sunny Slope is with us. I was going to be a special secret, but my parents will be here today firing an Independence Indoor Shooting from New Hampshire. I believe they're on their way, maybe 7:30 at the latest, but we've got people at the range firing. If you'd like to stop by and join us, Barb, we're going to get to you in 2 seconds. Ryan joins us. Then we're going to have Pete from Mountain Home, Max. So much going on here. Ryan, by the way, awesome facility. You're the general manager here. Thank you for having us. Tell us a little bit about Independence Indoor Shooting.
Independence Indoor Shooting is a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, indoor entertainment option here in town. We've got a 6,000 square feet retail space. We've got large classrooms where we entertain private events, and we also have an academy where we teach dozens of different classes from a beginner to an advanced shooter. We do stuff for youth. And then we've got gunsmith services here. We can do anything from custom-built rifles to handgun modifications to Cerakoting. Anything you can think of you'd like to do to a firearm, we can do it here. And then we also have some 21 lanes, state-of-the-art indoor shooting range. We've got the HEPA-controlled filtered ventilation system, climate-controlled. Just a beautiful facility to come and enjoy the sport of shooting.
What's it like to be a part of this? Like I said, I don't think we haven't seen anything like this in the state of Idaho, where you can come in, you can get your accessories, huge selection of weapons. You can rent a firearm to fire on the range. You've got safety. You've got a range officer. What's it like to be a part of this and to watch the movement grow?
It's really a privilege to be a part of. a place like this, and to see people come in to exercise their Second Amendment rights and to enjoy the sport of shooting, to see new shooters handle a firearm for the first time and see the excitement in their face, to be able to participate in that sport, to be able to see new hunters hold a rifle for the first time and prepare to go hunting with their father. It's just a really cool experience for anybody who gets to come and participate here at Independence.
Now, for those that were listening during the weather and during the intro, what were we listening to a moment ago?
We do have a large selection of full auto firearms. Recently, I think we just heard the Thompson full auto. They call it the Chicago typewriter. We heard that firing, as well as a M16.
Amazing. What would you like to say to folks that have heard about Independence but haven't been in yet?
There's only about 20 facilities of this quality in the country. We'll be rated by the NSSF, the National Sports Shooting Foundation, as a 5-star facility, which is one of the highest rankings they give to facilities like this in the country. It's really a neat privilege to have a place like this to enjoy the sport of shooting, and a safe environment for people to come do that.
Now let's talk about the 100-yard range. We've got Barb from Sunny Slope. You just fired. What was it like?
It was incredible. I've been to other indoor shooting places, and I have never been to one like this. It's just beautiful. It's clean. I love the ammo that I got to use this morning, too. It really did make a difference.
Now, you want to see the 100-yard range. You were grilling Ryan about this. Let's talk a little bit about it. Why a 100-yard range here in Idaho?
Well, there are very few indoor ranges that have 100 yards in distance to shoot in. We decided that we wanted to be able to involve the rifle shooters, and they needed a distance that they could actually shoot a rifle in and be able to develop some accuracy in their guns. And so we just thought it was just a necessary element to bring that indoors for people to experience. There's probably maybe just, I don't know, half a dozen indoor ranges in the country that have that distance. I know we're the only ones in the Northwest where you can shoot, and it's just a really cool thing to do, to see that football field distance inside of a building and shoot.
You can hear it right now.
Yeah.
Barb, you have a question, it seems, about the 100-yard range. You look like you're ready to jump on the mic.
I was going to make a joke. I was going to say what I'd like to see for a target is like a deer running across the end. You know?
Everybody has suggestions, yes.
Everybody has suggestions.
Yes. That would have to be remote controlled. We couldn't have somebody doing that.
Not behind the deer,
right.
just walking.
No. Anyway, during the day, what's the best time to come in?
There's not a bad time to come in. We got a lot of people who like to come in the mornings to shoot. We've got a senior mornings where you can get a discount to come in and shoot on the range on Wednesday mornings. Tuesday night we have a ladies' night. We have a lot of women come in, and we've just actually launched our own women's organization called the Independent Women. They're going to get together every Tuesday night coming up this fall for a really cool opportunity to shoot with other women. And then we've just hold a lot of other events, shooting competitions, and different things like that.
It's really great. You have this facility that's so new, and you have so many people coming in. What's the easiest way? Because we have people saying, well, Kevin Miller, you say it's off Overland. What's the easiest way to get here? I'm sure you get that a lot. I just say look for the big flagpole off of Overland, but we're in Meridian. How should people get here if they want to swing in this morning or anytime?
The best way to probably get here is to either come off of Eagle. We're just on the south side of Overland. A lot of people are familiar with what used to be the Broadview University. It's now the Gem Prep new charter school, and our building is directly behind that off of Wells on the south side of Overland.
Well, see, Barb, you have anything else? You just want to go check out the 100-yard range?
I want to go check out the 100-yard range. This is a wonderful place. I'm glad you have this on the radio so often, because that's why I finally came in. I said, well, I keep hearing this and hearing this.
Well, you're lobbying because you're a girl with a gun, too.
I'm a girl with a gun, yeah.
All right.
So you got my picture now.
Well, thank you. Ryan, we'll have you back next hour as well. Anything else you'd like to share with folks here?
No, we just invite people to come in this morning and shoot with us. The range time is free, and Reserve Munitions has brought some ammunition to shoot with, and we'd love to have people come in and shoot with us.
Well, that's pretty cool, because that is an expense to have people here, to have the range here, to have the weapons available. So we appreciate that. And where else do you get a chance to really shoot for free at such an awesome facility?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. By the way, your website, if people want to get a hold of you guys?
iishooting.com.
iishooting.com. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next hour.
Thanks.
All right. Ryan joins us from Independence Indoor Shooting. Let's go to Pete, I believe, in Mountain Home, who's been very patient on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pete.
Kevin, good morning. I'm going to disagree with what Tom said about that incident in northern Idaho. And not debating the merits of the law on hate crime, what I heard up there sounded like a lot more like assault than anything else. You don't have to hit someone to assault them. That kind of vicious, intemperate screaming with the kids present, they may have used the hate crimes law to enhance the charges some, but even if the guy had not used any racial slurs, I'd have arrested him for assault.
You know, and by the way, good news, Cindy's disagreeing with you, but I would agree with you on that. You know, you physically touch someone, then you have issues with law enforcement. If we're going to start policing speech, well, then you have to do it with everyone. And what's the difference between expression and, you know, verbal assault? Look at
there's a big difference between, you know, telling someone what you think of them and that kind of screaming. I don't know. It just listening to it. That was not a discussion. That was an assault. I'm sorry.
Well,
you don't have to actually hit somebody to assault them.
Well, now that is interesting, because what happens when you have people that cut rap songs that say beat up the police or blah, blah, blah the police, and they say that's expression?
Well, and there's a difference between saying that in a song that is not directed to an individual and using that kind of speech directly to an individual standing in front of you, especially with the kids there. I can call somebody, for example, Liberal Steve, a potty mouth poopy head over the phone, and that's not assault. But if I go up to him in person and start screaming at him like that, I think that's assault.
Fair enough. Terry from State College, Pennsylvania says you're correct. Thank you, Pete. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Let's go to Max in Garden City with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max.
I wanted to come up there so badly. I'm in my living room looking at my rifle in its case and my gun box, my range box. And my automobile is having a new transmission installed.
Well, no one's sorry than I am, boss.
It's a sad day, buddy. But you know what's even sadder? This guy before talking about
Hold on, Max.
assault.
Hold on. Let's just listen for a minute. Well, I guess they're reloading.
Don't you love the sound of gunfire in the morning? Doesn't it smell like freedom?
On the radio it does, yes, but we've got clean filters here so we can't smell it.
Now, this guy talking about assault. Assault. If he's threatening you, yes, but words aren't threats. Now, I'm a little older than you are, but I think you can remember, too, growing up with sticks and stones may break my bone, but names will never hurt me.
Or judo chop to the face.
Good grief. If this state has hate speech laws, it's not just sissydom, and it's a bunch of sissies, but that is the beginning. That is the beginning. How did we ever get this far? If this guy's going to stand in the bar or a room or anywhere and start yelling and screaming just insults based on race, that's his stupidity. That's not assault, Steve. That's not assault. Assault must present a clear threat to do harm.
Well, Pete says it's a verbal assault.
Yeah, but verbal assault isn't even a misdemeanor. However, disturbing the peace is. You could get him on a million little traffic ticket things. But it is insane. Hate crimes. If you kill somebody, it's probably because you hated them. But there's no race involved, so we can't call it a hate crime. And I've got to ask myself a question. What if this Idaho incident had involved a minority screaming these things out against Caucasians, against Italians or Hispanic people? I think they'd have just ushered them outside. There wouldn't be any hate laws because we have learned in our modern society that equal rights often means special rights. And it makes me so angry, I just want to go up there and hurl a few hate speeches of my own. But I'm not going to do that. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be up there to see you firing my gun because my car is in the shop and didn't get out yesterday. And I don't think I'll email you because I wonder if you've ever answered an email. I'm holding your feet to the fire, and the public is listening all over Idaho. Wherever your strong AM signal and wimpy FM signal reach, they're listening.
Yes,
Kevin,
yes.
Contact me, my friend.
Matt.
Here's a little hate speech.
Right.
I hate you not calling me. I hate having no cooperation. Hate. Somebody come and arrest me.
All right. Thank you very much.
You take care.
All right. Appreciate that, Max. More people coming into Independence Indoor Shooting. Kevin Miller in the morning at KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Liberty Linda. Liberty Linda, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Believe me, if I could, I would be there. and you know what I would do? I would challenge you. Let's say, out of 10 shots, how many bullseyes you could make. What do you think about that?
Well, who would shoot more bullseyes, you or me?
Well,
You can't sit there and say, I challenge you, and then you not take part in the challenge.
Oh, of course. Yes, it would be between you and I.
Wow. That would be something to look forward to, a shoot-off between Liberty Linda and Kevin Miller.
The next time we're there, we're together, that's on. We'll do it.
You know, it's funny. I heard Liberal Steve mouthing off, but he has yet to show up. It's probably just one of those teases again.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if he shows up. And maybe you could challenge him.
I don't know about that. But, Liberty Linda, what can we do for you today?
Well, let's see. I agree with Tom Munns. As long as somebody doesn't threaten your life, or threaten you harm, then, if it's racial or something like that, I wouldn't call the police and put them in prison for it, because we do have freedom of speech. So I agree with him that far, unless it goes farther than that. So I agree with him on that. And, what is this about, our president, and they're so upset because he invited Putin here. He's just trying to keep us out of war with a foreign country. So I say, yes, go ahead. Let's bring Putin here and talk to him. It's not a bad idea, I don't think. Anyway, so I agree with our president regarding that.
Well, we miss you, Liberty Linda.
Believe me, I miss you and everyone else. All the good, wonderful friends there. Tell everyone hi. And please tell your parents hello. They are marvelous. And if no one knows, you have the most beautiful wife. She is so sweet. So tell everyone hi and have lots of fun today.
Well, we wish you were here. Thank you, Liberty Linda.
Okay, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning. Coming up next, more of your thoughts. But look, we're here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Why not stop by? Fire for free, 25 lanes. You've got that 100-yard indoor shooting range, the largest in the Northwest. Take part in that, by the way, Girls with Guns. You can register now, KIDOTalkRadio.com. Incredible prizes. We'll hear more about that as we start your day with live firepower on the range. And if you haven't heard this story, coming up next, a disturbing story out of northern Idaho where you have a man arrested for yelling racial slurs at teens at McDonald's. Whatever happened to Grimace and the Hamburglar? Apparently they've been replaced in northern Idaho. Also, the president inviting Vladimir Putin to the White House. Boy, you think they were mad at him before. I can't wait to hear what the libs have to say next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.